Hello, hello, everybody. We are live for this week's edition of Fresh Tip Tuesday. I'm Corinne Brown, your fresh expert, the fresh expert, but yours today. And we're going to be talking about pot pie and some other great, amazing things. So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to jump on and comment with me. And while you guys are jumping on, I'm actually going to go here. Oops, my handy food camera just fell. And I'm going to share as well. So please make sure that you are sharing when you see these videos live, is because we love to see you and we want to see you there. So I'm going to post. So hopefully I posted that one correctly. So that one's sharing on mine. But let's jump in because we have a lot to cover in the next 30 minutes. Because let me tell you, the pressure was on for me today. That's why I'm a little late today too. Do you guys ever have those days where you feel the pressure? Yeah, well, here in the South, and the Carolinas in particular, when they say it's going to snow, everything shuts down. And for some reason, everyone buys milk and bread. Now, I don't know what you do with milk sandwiches, but apparently it's a big thing. I mean, it's just all gone. So you feel the pressure. We feel the pressure of the ice. It's e-learning today. I feel the pressure as a mom. My kids are in class in the other room, and I need to get lunch on the table for them. But you know, the great thing is, because of Tupperware's amazing pressure cooker, the pressure is not going to be on today when it comes for lunch. It might be on for everything else because I know I feel it there, but we're not going to have it today. And we're going to make pot pie soup. I know, pot pie soup. Doesn't that just sound fun? That's why I was like, oh, this sounds fun. I have to make this for everybody. So before we get into making it, I'd love for you guys to comment for me. Who knows when pot pie was invented? Please go ahead and comment and let me know, when was pot pie invented? I might have a gift for a winner. Woohoo! So go ahead and comment. And we're going to jump in because we have got to get these things cooking, right? Because I have to get this done in 30 minutes. We're going to make it start to finish using the pressure cooker. So really quick and easy. This is such a great recipe, and it does ask you to start off on the stove doing like a roux mixture, which we're going to do. And I'm going to be using Tupperware's 1 quart cookware. Really great. Right here behind me, I have 2 tablespoons of butter inside, just melting right now on medium-high heat. Okay, so we've got that one in there. Now let's go ahead for our next things. So now we're going to need to chop up some onions and some celery. But you know what? We got to have the handy camera here to show you guys, because we're going to be using Tupperware's supersonic chopper to chop up our pieces that go on the inside. So we're going to take our onion. You want half of an onion or 1 small onion is all that you need to go right into there. And then we're going to take a celery stalk. We got our celery right here. I'm just going to cut the ends off, and we're going to make it so it's big enough to go right in there. So we've got 1 stalk of celery. It actually says to use a half of a stalk, but I love celery, so I'm going to use all of it. You're going to twist it on. The little grooves right here line up so you can make sure that your supersonic is closed. Hold your hand on the top, and then we're just going to pull the cord. Look at that. Can y'all see that? Look at that. Woo! We're learning. You guys said last week, I want to see a food cam. Guess what? We have a food cam now. Isn't this great? Do you guys love it? Tell me that you are loving it. We're going to chop those together. So see how easy is that? Like literally, that's my onions and my celery chopped within seconds. Was that not the easiest? Like it totally was the easiest. All right, now, while that's going, you can see our butter is melting here really nice. Ooh, butter. And in medium heat, we're going to add the onions and the celery to our butter, and we're going to cook it down just a little bit. Now, make sure you get a good spatula. Good spatulas matter, which is why I love Tupperware spatulas. They do withstand 450 degrees of heat. So let's put this right here. Get that in there. Woo. Okay. So we got that cooking around. Do we have some answers so far? Does anybody know when pot pie was invented? Go ahead and put that there. So we've got that cooking. So we've got our onions, a half of an onion, and 1 stalk of celery chopped up. And it is cooking in our butter right now for about 5 minutes. We're going to let that cook until tender. And then we're going to add some flour to it to make it bubbly. And then we're going to add it all into our pressure cooker. And I left my veggies all the way over there, but we'll get them in 1 second. So that way you can see it. All right. Now, here's going to be the fun part. So with pot pie, typically, I'm going to switch this over so you guys can see me. Typically with pot pie, It is a pie crust, right? And the pot mixture, the proteins and the veggies are inside of that pie crust. Well, if we're doing a soup, you still need to have that crust because the thing that makes pot pie amazing is that pie crust. Well, since the pressure was on, I didn't have time to go to the store, but thankfully I keep on hand. Let me switch this back so you guys can see. The Wee Walka puff pastry. I love Wee Walka. It's one of my favorite brands, one of my fresh favorites. Go check it out and put it on there. And they have got not only pizza doughs, but pie crust, and it is vegetarian for any of you guys that want stuff that doesn't have lard in it. They are vegetarian, and puff pastry. But what we're going to do is we're going to make something super fun with our puff pastry. Now, let me just tell you this too. See this right here, this paper? This is parchment paper. I love Wee Walka because it all comes with the parchment paper. So if you didn't have Tupperware silicone mold, you've got something you can actually cook right on, which is fantastic. So we're going to take our pie crust and we're going to use our little pie cutters. Now you could use a knife if you want, but you're going to cut little strips. Okay. So just cut little strips right through all the way. Woo, about even. Obviously I don't go straight, but that's okay. There we go. And then I'm going to cut it in half this way too. Why not? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually weave these together and mix that up for a second, adorable little pot pie tops. So let's see. Get this over here. I let my stuff defrost too much. So make sure you do it right out of the fridge or else it's going to stick like this because I let it sit here for too long. Now it's sticking to the paper. So what happens, man? You can't have all that. Give me my pieces. Okay. So now you can decide how big or small you want these to be. Let me put this here so you can see. But I'm just going to take my little puff pastry pieces and I'm going to lay them out. Again, you decide how big or small you want them to be. If you don't want a really big piece, you don't have to. Oh, that one I did wrong. Come back here. Come back here. I keep thinking, if I talk to my food and stuff, it'll listen. Do you want to know something? It's not true. It's not true at all. It still does not listen. Okay, so we got this folded over. I'm doing my little, what is it called? My weave. I want to say bird's nest, but obviously bird's nest is not right. But for some reason, that's what I keep thinking here. Okay, we've got that. So it's just a quick little easy. You could do a fourth one here as well. Basically, you're braiding them. And then you're going to preheat your oven at 425 degrees, and then you're going to bake these on your silicone mat. Now, I will show you. I went ahead and did some. You guys can see. See how cute those are? And you bake them until golden brown. Now, you can do little smaller ones too. Like you decide. How do I get it? There you go. How big you want it to be, because then it'll go right into the bowl. Okay, so that is there. Now, let's go ahead and see if any of you guys commented already with what is. Oh, we've got Yum. Oh, thank you so much. So comment for me, guys. When was pot pie invented? I want to know your thoughts of when pot pie was invented, okay? All right, now, we've got our onions and stuff. See, they're nice and sauteed. Good to go here. You guys, isn't this fun with the little bird basket? So you're going to take these, put them in the oven at 450 degrees, and you're going to bake them. I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to finish baking the rest of these later, because right now we need to get our soup in the microwave because it needs to get started. So we're going to go ahead and take here inside of our Tupperware pressure cooker. We're going to take our mixture here that has our onions and our celery all nice and cooked together. Oh, I was supposed to put the flour in there. Silly Corinne. Okay, let's do that real quick. 1/4 cup of flour was supposed to be all mixed in there first. Let's mix it in here first. How about that? It's okay, guys. Make it up as we go along sometimes. So 1/4 cup of flour we're going to take and we're going to mix in. We're supposed to cook it until it's nice and bubbly. Well, I completely just got excited and put it into the pressure cooker instead. That happens sometimes, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got that there stirring constantly. Now, what we need to do is add all the remaining ingredients in here, which is we need 2 to 3 cups of broth. Now, if you're doing chicken pot pie, which most of you will be, you're going to do 2 to 3 cups of chicken broth, okay? Whee! I love the little measuring pitchers because it measures everything on the side. Yum! Here we go with that one there. So I'm doing veggie broth, though, because I'm doing the vegetarian version instead. Then we're going to take and put a little bit of thyme in there. Now, the recipe calls for poultry seasoning, but since I don't do chicken anyways, we're going to do a little bit of thyme. And actually, I'm using this one here. Can y'all see this on here? Arctic Rub. This is actually White Wolf Rubs. This is a local guy that makes seasoning here in Fort Mill, South Carolina. He's in the Rock Hill area too. He is not paying for advertising, if you're wondering. No, I really do love this. This is one of my fresh favorites. This is one of the great things I love. I put it on almost every vegetable that I grill. So it's White Wolf Rubs. They've got a lot of great seasonings. The Arctic Rub, though, is fantastic for all veggies. And we're going to put a little bit of it in here to give me some flavor in here, too. All right, then we've got to add our veggies, which I left in the other room because they were defrosting. And you're just going to take plain old mixed veggies. Do y'all see this? Mixed veggies. Now, you're going to add in 2 cups of frozen mixed veggies. 1 and 2. And put it in there. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, now, guys, I have to tell you, I love potatoes in mine. And most of the frozen veggie mixes don't have potatoes. Do you like potatoes? If you do, go ahead and comment and let me know if you love potatoes. So we're going to put that there like that. And we're going to put this aside for a second because I'm going to actually take a can of sliced new potatoes. I try to always keep canned potatoes on hand for a quick soup. It's one of my favorite secret ingredients for a quick soup. Really great and easy. Oops. This is my like generation 1 can opener. You know, just like the iPhone is now on the iPhone 13, you know, a lot of Tupperware's products are on different versions too. Because just like iPhone, Tupperware is big with research and development. So they're always looking to try and make it be a little bit better as we go. So there we go. Those came right off. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to take these and I'm going to drain out the water. Oops, I make a mess everywhere. I just put my colander on top of my Mix and Store Plus pitcher. Isn't that clever? I thought it was clever. Okay, and then I'm actually going to cut these real quick because I don't want them that big in my soup. So we're going to take our knife and just go, woo! Sound effects make everything better, y'all. Sound effects. Now, of course, if you get the canned ones of diced potatoes, would that be better? Yes, of course that would be better. Why am I not using that? Well, simply because this is what I had on hand. And today was about taking the pressure off, right, guys? Okay. So let's take all of that and let's put all this in my soup because I like potatoes. Now, if you want to take the time and make sure it all looks neat, you go ahead, okay? I'm not, see the mess that I'm making? Do y'all see this mess? It is a mess. It's all right then. All right, so what we got in here, just in case if you're just joining us, so that way you know, we are making vegetable pot pie soup, and we've got some really great little toppings to go with it. So in this soup here, we've got 2 to 3 cups of broth. I'm gonna put a little more broth in here just because I want a little bit more broth. 2 cups of frozen vegetables. Now, typically you put a pound of chicken in here, but we're not doing chicken. Instead, I added some extra potatoes because we're doing veggie pot pie soup, not chicken pot pie soup. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. I love pink Himalayan salt. Something about sprinkling it too makes me happy, so I like to sprinkle it. And then we're gonna grab our adorable handy dandy Tupperware mincer. No, this one's exclusive. It's one of the joys of being a Tupperware lady. Okay, you can move that right there. And then we're gonna mix this up. That's really it. And then we're gonna take this and this is gonna go into the microwave with our pressure cooker top. We're gonna take it, line it up. Woo! Get on there. Snap into place. And then we're gonna put this in the microwave for 15 minutes. Go in there. Actually, I'm gonna do 12. Okay, so while that's going, let's switch back over. Now, as I mentioned, I'm doing a little bit of a different recipe for you guys because I'm doing a vegetarian version. Now, the original version actually says you should microwave for a full 20 minutes. I'm not doing for a full 20 minutes on this one because I'm not putting chicken in it. So I don't have to worry about the chicken being cooked. Just a little aside. I'm going to post the recipe for you guys later. It will be on my Instagram as well as on my Facebook page at The Fresh Expert, so you can grab that. But let's go back to this question here. When was pot pie invented? Well, if you were wondering, pot pie was actually invented in 1951. At least the first frozen pot pie was in 1951 by Swanson. How many of you guys have heard of Swanson? I hope everybody, because Swanson's a very, very popular brand, and the Swanson food truck that comes around too. So in 1951, Swanson actually introduced and the first vegetable or frozen pot pie. I thought that was kind of fun. Did you know that? If you did, please comment and let me know. Now, here's a fun one. The first pot pies in general, actually, were first noted in ancient Roman Empire. That's right, back in the Roman Empire. And get this, it was with live birds. I know, how do you bake a pie with live birds in it? But the whole idea was that you cut them and the birds come out. In fact, there's a nursery rhyme that I put on the screen here, right here for you. That's the 4 and 24 blackbirds in a pie. Have you guys heard of that one before? 4 and 24 blackbirds in a pie? That actually comes from the original pot pies. Now, obviously it has changed over the years with the different ingredients, but basically it was a cast iron type pot with dough, meat, and potatoes. So you've got your protein and your potatoes or your vegetables or whatever all together in a pie. So I love pot pies. I think they are really yummy. I love seafood pot pies. Seafood pot pies are really good too. So there's so many great things that you can do with them. And it's a roux. You make a nice cream sauce, add your veggies, add your protein, add some seasoning, slap on a pie crust. Yeah, it's that easy, right? So I'm really excited about this pot pie soup so we can see how it comes together. So I hope you guys have learned some fun things with that one there. Let's go ahead and switch that over for you too. Okay, let's take that off of there. Okay, so this is a really great recipe. Now let's talk a little bit more about the pressure cooker because I love the pressure cooker. Any of you guys have a pressure cooker already? Not the ones that hiss at you, that are metal, that are always clinking. I'm talking about the Tupperware pressure cooker. That is a plastic glass composite. That's right. It's super cool the way it super charges with the PSI on the inside to really tenderize. In fact, if you love a roast, you can do a roast in 30 minutes. You can do the whole chicken in 20 minutes. You can do risotto. That's right. Risotto, guys, in 12 minutes. Now, risotto is one of my other favorite comfort foods. Something about starch and cheese, right? All the rice and goodiness that goes together with that. But to be able to do a really good risotto in a pressure cooker in no time is pretty huge. So that's a great one right there. We do a one-pot pasta, a mac and cheese dish. The pressure cooker is the best for soups. And we're coming into soup season, aren't we? Because when it's cold and it's yucky, you just want something warm to get you back to temperature, back to your ease. And that's where this pressure cooker is great. Now, the reason I'm sharing it with you all today is because the pressure cooker is on sale. That's right. Right now, you can get the pressure cooker on my website, twcorinne.com. You'll see that going across the bottom. They're scrolling, but twcorinne.com. Go check it out, and you can get that Tupperware pressure cooker right now for only $89. That's right. Normally it retails for $149, and right now you can get it for only $89. That's incredible. Now, all year round, if you're watching the replay and you're like, that's great, Corinne, but it's not January of 2022 anymore, then just so you know, you can go to my website whenever you want and you can purchase at full price or host your party with me because I do Facebook parties, Zoom parties, and yes, in-home Tupperware parties where you can then get items for free or half off. So that's why I'm the fresh expert. We're going to freshen your life and save you time, space, and waste, right? So I hope you're having fun with that. Okay, so we've got the rest of this cooking here. We've got 7 more minutes. We've got our great little woven birdcage top, and I'm just excited. I cannot wait to try it. Now, the last step that we're going to have is once this is done and once the pressure valve closes on it, we're going to actually add in about a cup of cream. Actually, no, a half a cup of heavy cream just to give it more of that creamy texture to it. And then we're going to add in a little more salt and pepper to season, put our woven basket on top of it, and it is going to be fantastic. I just think these are adorable. Aren't those adorable? Like, if nothing else, if you take away anything from today's Fresh Tip Tuesday, make sure that you try out these little pastry tops. I mean, it's so easy to do, and it's just so cute. So we're going to make sure we do that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you guys today because we're still waiting on the other, but I'm going to come back on and post a picture of the final for you all, so that way you have it in the comments of this thread. But I hope you've enjoyed this Fresh Tip Tuesday. I hope you go try a pot pie soup. It's going to be amazing with all of our extras. And be sure to let me know what products you'd love to see, or if there's a certain recipe, so that we can give you some great fresh tips and more. I'm Corinne Brown, the Fresh Expert. Thanks for watching. All right, bye guys.